It's so boring. I can't think anything to make videos today. Oh, so crazy. Wait. I see a banana. Wow. Look at that. If I can find some idea through this banana, it seems like a parabola! Hi guys, welcome back to Study and Feeling. I'm Ivy here. So today for this video, I would love to share with you about solving quadratic equation. But first thing, please come back to the exercise I gave you in the previous video. So as you can see on the screen, is the answers is really easy for you to understand it. If you still not, what would you do? Comment it. So let's move on. So at the first video, I already showed you that my idea come from a banana, because you helped me to make this video. Without you, I cannot think that I will make this video. So let's move on. So solving quadratic equations. Why we have to learn quadratic equation? Do you ask this question when you study about this one? And myself, I always ask this question every time I learn something new. Is that helpful for my life? Is that have any application in reality? So why I have to learn it? So when I search on the Google, the answer that I can receive is bridge had the shape as a parabola. So what is parabola? Parabola is the graph of quadratic equation. So when you apply quadratic equation in a graph, it will make a parabola. So this bridge has a parabola shape. So the other thing that I can find is I'm quite surprised, because I even don't expect and don't think about this stuff, because it's kind of silly. I even don't expect that this logo of McDonald's had the parabola shape. Oh my god. So let's move on. And the final things that I'm interested in is about a rainbow, because I already learned about quadratic equation in grade A, and I even don't think that the rainbow had related to the parabola to the quadratic equation. I even don't think about it, and now I'm quite surprised because I've missed many things. So if you know why we have to learn it, so you would love to know what is the quadratic equation. So quadratic equation is actually has the form
y equals a times x squared plus bx plus c.
So this is the regular form of a quadratic equation. I don't say that this is the only form, but this is the regular form, because quadratic equation also can express in the other ways. So this is the regular form that you can understand, you can distinguish it immediately when you see it on your test. So let's move on. So the condition in here, there's only one condition for quadratic equation, is a is not 0. Why not? Because let's think about it. When a equals 0, what will happen? So I already asked this question and I have an answer for you. If a equals 0, then your equation will be y equal bx plus c. So can you guess what kind of function is this? So at the first lesson, I already showed you this kind of function. This is a line function. So it's not a parabola anymore, right? So let's move on. The next thing I would love to show with you is the domain. Do you remember exactly what is the domain? If not, please come back to the previous video about math, or I will put the link below in the description box. I will put the link in the description box so you can search for it easier. So domain is all the value of x, and for this quadratic equation, so the domain is all real number. So can you guess what will I mention next? I think definitely this is range, and the output of quadratic equation is all real number because there's no limit for that equation. So I will give you an example about quadratic equation. Specifically, can you guess which number is A, B, and C in here?
Can you guess the value of A, B, and C? So, let me answer this question.
A equal 1, B equal 2, and C equal 1. So I think that some of you will have a question. What? A equal 1? Is that really? I said yes. Because when you multiply 1 with any variable, like dependent variable or independent variable, you don't need to write down the number 1 because you can hide it. For example, in here, 1 times x squared, you can just write x squared directly. There's nothing wrong. So you need to be careful in that mistake, because a lot of friends in my algebra class, they also make a mistake in this one. So let's move on. So for example, I will give you an equation. So this is the most basic quadratic equation. So it's also called the parent equation. So I will give you the graph here. This is a parabola. So as I said with you, every quadratic equation has the parabola graph. So here you can see the graph of this one. And the next thing is, will you ask me the question how to move this graph? Because every time I look at something, I would love to ask a question. So why do I have to learn it? What exactly is this, and how can I move it? So let's get to the next part, and I will show you how to move it. I will show you the shape of a quadratic equation. So through this section, I definitely can guarantee with you that you will know how to move this one. This is the other form of quadratic equation. See, you can see it? I said that the first form is not the only one. It's just the regular that you can distinguish it. But in here, you can see the other form. What?
A times x minus h squared plus k.
So this is the other form. You can use it in graphing, and it's really helpful for you when you need to scratch a parabola. You don't need to find the solution, find the intersections. You don't need to do that. You just need the equation and scratch a parabola. As you can see here, this is the parabola. It's not the basic one, but I show you this one to let you see. This is an x-intercept. So every quadratic equation has two x-intercepts. This is the y-intercept. Maybe let's have, yeah. And this is the vertex. The vertex is, you can imagine is the lowest point or the highest point. Here in this picture, you can see this is the lowest point of a parabola. So what is this line? This dashed line is the axis of symmetry. So this here you can see this is the explanation for the symbol in the form. So A is width and narrow. That means the value of A more than 1. So your parabola is narrow. So if the value of A is less than 1, so your parabola is bigger. So can you imagine? The other things about A is really important for you to remember is if A is a negative number, then the parabola opens down. That means it will have the opposite shape of this one. It will open down. And if a is a positive number, then the parabola will open up. So it will open up like this one. So h is the value that you can add in there to make it move to the right or move to the left. And k is the value that you can add in here to make it move up or down. That's easy, right? So the vertex in here is also the h and k. Remember, it is the h and k, not negative h and k. Just remember about this because it's also a really big mistake for you guys when you learn about quadratic equation and when you draft it, or when you see a graph and when you see a graph and write down back the equation, you will miss like the h and k, the vertex, because you have a mistake in negative h or positive h. So I just want to make sure that you understand it and be careful with this mistake. So the axis of symmetry is h. So finally, thank you for watching this video. I know it has a lot of knowledge for you guys to study, but I think it's really interesting because through the video you can learn more things about quadratic equation, and especially about the graphing form of quadratic equation is a thing that I learned when I come here, not I learned it in Vietnam. So about the graphing form, I really excited to share with you guys because I think it's really helpful for you guys when you graph it directly. You don't need to find a solution. You don't need to find a, how can I call this? Like you need to find a solution so complicated as a formula. Yeah, using the formula so complicated and you need a calculator. But here you don't need a calculator anymore. You just need a parabola, graphing form, and then squared, because you know where is it at the left or at the right due to the h, you know where it's up, down due to the k, and you know where it's up and up or up and down due to the value of a, and we know how wide or narrow it is due to the value of a. Is if higher than 1, it will be narrow, or if lower than 1, it will be bigger. So it's easy for you, right? So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please comment and let me know. This is the support from you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for my channel. So thank you so much.